Where do we even start? A conversation about fashion, starting a career, and being a 20 something, with hosts Alex, Chloe, and Erika.
Hi, welcome to Where Do We Even Start? This is our first ever episode, and we're super excited to be recording. Before we start on the topic of today, we just wanted to address because of the current events, we know that a lot of people are working from home, so we wanted to share some things that have been working for us and how we've been coping. A little background, we're all working full time from home right now and taking summer courses as fashion design students, so we're figuring out the ways to juggle the work.
It's
This
this
or
or that.
For today's This or That, it's a little quarantine theme, and I'm posing the question, banana bread or sourdough bread?
Oh, sourdough. Not that I'm making it, but I have to say sourdough because I prefer having like sourdough with some cream cheese over eating banana bread.
And see, with Erika, I think I'm going to have to disagree with you on that one because sourdough just takes so much more to bake and get ready because you have to make your starter and all that type of thing. Where with banana bread, you just have some bananas that are going bad. Bing, bang, boom, get her done.
And I'm gonna contrast that and bounce back to the sourdough. In the toaster, a little vegan butter. Goodness gracious.
Yes. Okay, so sourdough wins. Sorry, Chloe.
This or that is not about winning or losing. It's about opinions.
It's about opinions, but we also have a 2-1.
So moving forward on today's topic, working from home. What is your guys' best advice for working from home right now in these circumstances?
Okay, so for me, definitely best advice is having a designated workspace. So right now I'm working in my studio, so all of my sewing stuff and school stuff is in there. And basically whenever I go into my studio, like my body knows like it's time to do work, like it's not time to relax, scroll through social media or sleep or anything like that. So I'm just like always ready to be productive when I'm in that space.
I think mine kind of goes along with the same thing of setting yourself up for success and listening to yourself. So for me, setting myself up for success means that I am going to be reducing the stress during my workday or during my day just in general. So whether that means setting up my space around me, whether that's my desk or my studio for a productive day, or if something like a coffee really gets me going in the morning and is that thing that starts my day off really well and puts me in a good mood for the rest of the day. So yeah, just setting yourself up for success and making sure that you listen to yourself.
Yeah, I think we're all on a pretty similar page. Mine ties onto this too. A habit I don't always stick to, but I try to, is try to put on a good outfit and get ready, because that is always what motivates me and gets me inspired. Even before the time staying at home, that is always how I knew I would have a good day at school or work, is being in a good outfit, getting ready. It puts you in that, same as Erika, that headspace, so you know that it's not relaxing time, it's work time, but then know when to stop and switch back into your comfy clothes at the end of the workday.
So I am gonna kind of call Alex out on something that she does that I thought was really, really cool. So I don't know if you still do this now, Alex, but I remember
Ooh.
that you used to lay out clothes that made you feel really good, and you used to write them down in your notes of your power outfits and things that really worked for you when you are going into a stressful day or you woke up late or something, and you knew where you could go to find an outfit that started your day off okay and put you on the right foot. And I always really admired that and thought it was super cool.
Oh, yeah, you caught me. I'm not doing that anymore, but busy weeks, that is the best thing I do, is I was always someone that would fall back onto my go-to outfits. So yeah, that was something I did this school year was I wrote out all the clothes I kind of have in like a capsule wardrobe style and paired together outfits so that in those flustered mornings when things weren't going to plan, I could just go to my notebook with my list, put on that outfit, and enter into the day. It's a whole confidence thing. That's always how I set myself up for exams in high school, presentations. Outfits are the winning thing.
And that kind of ties back to the conversation of knowing yourself and knowing when your stress levels are going to start to rise or when you feel super calm and what you need to do to put yourself in a good situation for working at home.
Exactly. So, I am super curious. I know you guys are insanely productive. So, what are your routines right now? What is moving you through getting your things you need done in the day, and making you feel productive?
So for me, I am a huge small goal setter. So in the morning, I will wake up and I will look at my emails and I will figure out what I need to get done for the day, whether that's a fitting or I have projects that are due or I have a meeting with somebody. I will set those things out and I will decide, okay, by 10 a.m., I'm going to finish checking my emails and get on to my next task and just create those small little goals for myself to keep myself on track.
To add on to Chloe's point, I also think it's important to make realistic goals for yourself every day. So, not necessarily saying, like, in one day I'm going to get an entire project done, because that's not necessarily realistic. You can even just say, like, I'm going to get part one of four done today, and just setting, like, knowing that at the end of the day, all of the things that you've told yourself you're going to get done will actually be able to get done.
Very true, realistic goals. My routine is not right now where it used to be where I liked it to be. But my ideal routine was when I used to wake up and kind of live the same day and know what was happening, but also know when I would strategically have breaks, knowing the way my work would flow. Um, so that's something I'm trying to get back onto, knowing the night before what your day tomorrow is going to look like. And things can change, things will come up, but it was always settling for me knowing what each day of the week would look like.
Okay, so for me, I've basically been trying to set myself work hours. So waking up in the morning and getting to work at around 9 in the morning, and then working till lunchtime, eating lunch, and then going till 4 or 5 p.m. And just setting the schedule really helps me, like, it's the whole thing of like the studio. Like, once I'm in the studio, like, I know it's work time to work, and then having my designated work hours, I know that that's the time that I'm working, doing school, and then outside of those hours, it's time for me to like watch Netflix and relax and things like that. I'm definitely not like great at this right now. Like, I'm sleeping in a lot more than I would like to be doing, and I'm working a bit later than I was for the past like 2 weeks. So it's definitely not something that's easy to do when at home, and something that like you really need to like set yourself and like just know, like, at 4 p.m., like, if you're still working on something, like just putting it down and then going and relaxing or like eating dinner or something. Not like at 4 p.m., but like 5 p.m.
And I think that goes back to like checking in with yourself, making sure that you're taking care of yourself, your mental health, and you're listening to your body because for Erika, her like 9 to 4 or 9 to 5 schedule works really, really well for her. And for me, I have a super different like flow of my day. I'll get up. Some mornings I'll feel super productive and I will get on my sewing machine and do all that work that I need to get done. And then maybe I'll go to the beach for the afternoon with my family because I need to get out of the house and do something. And then I'll come back later in the afternoon or in the evening and continue to work on the rest of my to-do list and goals for that day.
While we're on the topic of schedules, the three of us are all planners. I think I can say that for all of us. So, but we all plan in different ways. So we wanted to share a little something that could be helpful to other people in this time, little templates of how we choose to plan our days. So I'll start off with mine. The way that I always plan, like I said before, I'm a night before planner, and I'm always anticipating the next thing. So I like planning my schedule more day by day. So the night before, I like to write up when I'm going to get up, my to dos, the people I have to reply to emails, my assignments that are due, and my goals for the day rather than long term. I keep kind of separate. How are you guys organizing your templates for right now?
Okay, so for me, I'm a weekly person. So I usually on Sunday or like Monday morning, I like to think about my week and what's going to be happening. So right now, it's planning out what days I have classes, so what time I have that, what time I want to be working on things for different classes, and what time I want to be doing work. So every week, I try to set it up so it's around the same so I can get into like a rhythm of how my weeks are going.
What about you, Chloe?
For me, I am a super big picture planner. So for my schedule for school especially, I really like to go into my course calendars and I like to print out all of the months that I'll be in those courses, and I write down and color code the different tests or projects that I have to hand in, and then I love to use sticky notes for my more like weekly and daily tasks that I need to do. So I try and keep a space on my calendar where I can stick those daily tasks on a sticky note. And then once I complete them, or if I need to reevaluate my goals and my to do list for that day, I can take it off and choose to start fresh again.
I'm gonna throw a surprise question in here. Do you
Oh.
guys, or if you don't, do you plan in time into your day to take care of yourselves or do something for yourself rather than schoolwork, things for other people, work? And if you don't, plan it in. What have you been doing?
Okay, so for me, that kind of goes into the whole schedule thing. I usually I usually end up doing things for myself after 4 p.m. So I'll sit with my family normally and get dinner ready, and then eat dinner like around 5 or 6 p.m. And then after dinner, it's like time for myself. So I will either watch Netflix. We're gonna say play Webkins, not shamed. Okay, stop judging me. Watch TikTok. You know what? I
Guilty
find it
pleasure.
Yeah.
I find it to be quite relaxing and like quite nostalgic. So it really does calm me down at the end of the day and make me feel less stressed about what's going on. Makes me feel like a kid. So I'll play webkins, watch some Netflix, watch a few TikToks, and then I normally go to bed. So like that's kind of like my wind down, de stress at the end of the day. And then I normally watch a couple of TikToks and scroll through Instagram like first thing when I wake up.
Awesome.
I think for me, I really struggle with setting time aside for myself. I am a super like go 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 type of person. It's either I'm fully like into work, fully going, or I am like in a slump and I'm completely stopped. And so, what I've been trying to do during quarantine and during like self isolation is giving myself opportunity to do what I feel I need to do in that moment. So if I wake up in the morning and it's one of those days where I need to get outside and go for a walk, I've been trying to let myself kind of follow those urges right now. Or in the evenings, if I've had a really productive day, I've been attempting to reward myself with watching an episode of something new on Netflix or going through Pinterest and looking at some different things and that type. So it's still a work in progress, I do admit, and I have a lot more work to do on that one.
I'm with you on that one. I the way I work and like my procrastination levels is I feel more settled when I am working. Like that's what makes my stress go away, being productive, which is a very toxic cycle because it just causes me to sit and work for the hours on end. But yeah, finding the little times in the day, like me going to the kitchen and making my coffee in the morning and drinking it for even if it's like 5 minutes while I'm on TikTok, like Erika, just finding little moments of the day to take breaks and do mindless things that I enjoy.
I also think like another big thing for all the three of us is that we do a lot of FaceTime calls right now, and that's kind of a way for us to like
Mm-hmm.
wind down and relax. So like we might be like working on a project or like doing something for work, but we're still like chatting and getting something, just like having a moment to like kind of relax but still be productive. And I think that's something that we've all been doing a lot recently.
I don't want to speak for you two necessarily, but for me, a lot of my self-care is being social and being with the people that like I really connect with and I really care about. And so it's been really difficult for me during this time to not be around those people that I go to school with and my friends and in the place where I really thrive with that. So like Erica said, FaceTiming and having that time to even just be in somebody else's presence that you're normally really appreciative to be around is super beneficial.
Yeah, I definitely have
I'll
to
be
agree.
the introvert in the conversation and say that I'm thriving. um, but I get it. I miss being around the friends, the school, but I think, yeah, we all know what we need to feel fulfilled. I think we're all feeding it. We're also three very lucky as we've all grown up being creative people, so we have a plethora of random hobbies that we've been picking back
Yeah.
up. Um, what have you guys been doing to feed your creative selves and keep busy? Which is also a self care kind of thing, while it's also being productive in the context of design students.
That is a really, really good question. Um, as we work as we work and go to school in somewhat of a very creative realm in fashion design, and we have a lot of design based things that we do, it is hard to differentiate um, what you're doing for fun for yourself and to feed your own creativity versus
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing as a project, because I really do enjoy what I do and I really do find like a true passion in what I'm studying and what I'm working in. And so I've been really going back to my roots of what got me inspired to go into fashion design and that type of thing, which is fashion history and theater and costume. And so I've been watching a lot of musical theater, and I've been on Netflix and watching a lot of um, theater and performances like that on there to kind of bring back that passion of why I started, to kind of differentiate from school and work and what's my passion and what I'm doing for myself.
I definitely have to agree with you, Chloe, that definitely agreeing that sometimes it feels like school and hobbies are basically the same thing, just because like sewing used to be my hobby as a kid and now sewing and like design is what I do for school. So for me, for a couple of weeks I was doing a lot of sewing projects, like I was making shirts and pants and like all sorts of clothes, and now it's kind of turned more into like different types of textile art. So I've been doing some tapestry weaving, very on and off, just because it's very like labor intensive. but just kind of trying to get back to like what Chloe was saying, like all of the things that really got me into design and like old hobbies that I used to do as a kid because now I have so much time to do them and I can really like gain the appreciation for them again.
I agree fully with you guys on that one. I always start something with the intentions of it being a personal project just for myself, and then I find a loophole of how to make it for a portfolio or for a current school project. I can never find the line to separate that. So I'm working on incorporating painting and fun stuff like that that I also used to do as a kid, and that's what would inspire me in making collages with not having the intention of having it be seen, just fueling myself with it.
And Alex, do you find that when you when you are trying to do things without the intention of having to have it in your portfolio or having to hand it in, does that allow you to be more creative? Or do you feel like you get stressed about wasting time on something that isn't going to be beneficial in the future?
You know me so well. um, that is exactly it. When I know that there is so much pending work, I can't find the reason to do things that will not benefit the pending work. But I can see why I should. I love the structure of school projects that we have in a creative education where we have rules and limits, but also like going beyond the limits rather than you setting them for yourself, if that makes sense.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with Alex that like sometimes when you know that there's not a due date or like a reason to be doing a project, it kind of like almost like makes you feel unmotivated to finish the project. So there are so many sewing projects and like tapestry weavings that are like half done because I'm just like, oh, like I don't have to get it done, like I'll do it later, like but it's just like one of those things that it's almost like a creative stump and like I know that 2 months from now I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna finish it because like for some reason I've just had this like burst of creativity.
Yeah, it's like that for everything, even beyond creative projects. Taking advantage of the space you have. Like if you live by a park or forest, the hikes you can go on. Um, yeah, finding new ways to clear your head while also being productive.
I also think there's something to be said about using what you have in your life already. And I've been watching a lot of videos on this and everything. And I know, Erika, you've kind of gotten into this a little bit, but doing things like gardening and propagating plants and creating
Yes.
things out of what you already have is a super awesome thing because you don't have to go out, you don't have to buy anything. You can use food scraps or you can use plants that you already own to start to build those hobbies.
Okay, Chloe, you just got me
What are
really
we
excited
growing?
because you mentioned propagating plants, and this is like my biggest hobby right now, and I completely forgot to mention it. But literally, propagating plants is the most fun thing I have done so far. Like you literally just like you cut up your vegetables, and the next thing you put it in water, and next thing you know, you have like 12 more plants. Like it's so cool. Like I don't know how I didn't do this before, but it's so cool. Like I can't even like fully explain how amazing propagating plants is.
So, for you guys that may not know what propagating means or propagating plants, it's where you cut off specific parts of plants and you allow them to sit in water and grow roots to create their own smaller plants from pre existing plants that you might have in your house or in your garden or even from food scraps and stuff.
Okay, one of the best ones for sure that I've propagated is green onions. You literally just cut off the ends of the green onions, like the white ends with the roots. You put them back in the water, and like not even a day has gone by, and you already have like half another green onion. Like it's literally insane. Like I don't understand how it works. Like I don't understand the science behind it, but it's so cool. Now they're in my garden. I'm planting them. It's great. It's I love it.
Amazing.
So propagating is kind of turned into a little bit more of like a gardening hobby for you too, Erika.
Yeah, but also just like I also let them sit on my counter for like definitely way too long. Have to admit, like it takes someone nagging at me for like a couple of days for me to actually plant them in the garden. But like I just think it's cool to see like something that like you're literally like some people throw out like I compost it, but like something that was going to be waste like is turned into a whole other like source of food. It's cool.
Zero waste, girl. Okay, I'm gonna bring up another topic that I think we can talk candidly about because not one of us is doing well in it right now.
Uh-oh.
Balance. So, we have interesting personalities where we can all agree on this, where we are workaholics, but we're also relaxaholics.
Oh, yes.
So,
Mm-hmm.
what is the definition of balance in your guys' days, weeks right now?
I personally am one of those people where I struggle between the definition of um, perfectionism and procrastination. So, me not wanting to start things or not wanting to get my day going because I want them to be perfect. And so I have this fear of getting out of bed and getting things going because I want every small detail to be exactly the way I want it. And then some days I fall into the category where I just have no motivation. And that's when I really have to kind of will myself to get out of bed and be like, you feel like this right now, take a shower, get a coffee, get your day started, and just start to move forward. And hopefully things will change and like look up.
Any balance thoughts from your end, Erica?
Okay, so for me, I think that since we started school like a week ago, I have been thrown off for balance. So like before school started, I think I kind of had a little bit of it in the grasp. Like I was able to work from 9 to 4, like have my lunch break, and then like relax after 4 p.m. But no, I'm really thrown off because I have classes in there and I'm trying to still work a lot and go do school. So my plan was originally like school in the morning, work in the afternoon, and then relax after 4 p.m. But some days I like wake up and I'm like, I don't want to do school right now. Like I'd rather work, and then I end up working, and then it's like 4 p.m. and I'm like, oh, I haven't done any schoolwork. Like I have to do a bit of schoolwork to stay on top of things. So then I work till 6 I do schoolwork till 6 p.m. and I'm like, well, my balance is like all over the place right now, and I'm not following my like schedule that I've set out for myself that I was doing for like 3 weeks really well. So really, the balance of things is not great, and I'm working on it. And hopefully, like by the end of this week, I'll have the balance of like doing school and work and staying within my like 9 to 4 hours, and then doing like relaxing after. But really, just thrown off since school started. To be totally honest.
I am the exact same. I think it's always in flux, and I don't think we should be too hard on ourselves, especially in a time like this where it's hard to know exactly what you should be doing. The word balance is not a word that exists in my dictionary right now. I balance is no more. I am just going. But that is not here to stay. I am a tip that Chloe gave me last week is to go back to again my roots of writing out my day of what it'll look like so that I do stop working and implement time for other things.
And I also want to say that during this time, during this whole conversation, we are in no way saying that you have to be productive. It is okay. It is okay not to be productive. It is okay to go through the ebbs and flows as things are changing. We're all managing disappointment. Things are going to look really different from here on out. And there is that um, anxiety of not knowing what the future looks like. And so, although lots of people are working from home, and all three of us feel very grateful that we do have jobs currently, and we are in no way complaining about working from home or jobs, but it's okay to not be productive. It's okay to have time where you're just being and you're just living.
Yeah, to go off of Chloe's point here, like when you wake up in the morning and you're like, I'm not feeling productive today, like it's okay to have a day off and not do any work that day. Like there are definitely days where I wake up and I'm like, I do not want to do any schoolwork, I do not want to do any like sewing, any work at all. Like I just want to sit in bed and have like a relaxing day. And it's totally acceptable to do stuff like that. Like there's no need to be productive every single minute of the day. It's just something that like I normally fall back on because I feel less stressed when being extremely productive.
I really like that thought, and I think that's something we should all keep in the back of our minds. Um, I think that one is a good one to wrap up on for our first episode. I just wanted to plug our templates again. So again, I am doing a day by day template. Erika is doing a weekly template, and then Chloe is doing a monthly template, and we're going to have them as PDFs that you guys can download from the link on our Instagram bio. And hopefully, if it even helps just one person figure out how to move smoothly through their day, that is what we're here for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thank you guys so much for listening to our first episode.
And we're hoping that everyone stays safe and healthy during this time.
Thanks for listening.
Make sure you follow us on Instagram at Where Do We Even Start?
And we'll catch you next Monday.
Bye.
Bye.